I'm supposed to be going to sleep. But every day I keep thinking to myself, like, I need to do videos. People do these videos and stuff, and I need to do a video. Even my daughter told me, Mom, you should be vlogging. And, but every time I go to make a video, I don't know what to say. What am I going to say? I mean, there's things in my head to say, but, it's all, none of it's in order, in any kind of order. It's just these just random thoughts. And then there's the thought, does anybody really care about what I have to say? I mean, I am just this one person in this whole wide world of people. I'm just this one person. So, but of course, I have my own thoughts and opinions on things, and I don't agree with other people, and other people I do agree with, and vice versa. So, what have I been wanting to make videos about? Well, I would say videos about being autistic, but, people think there's something wrong with you when you talk about it all the time. Or they don't want to hear it. I know how that is. It's something that autistic people do. It's called InfoDumping. When they have an interest in something, and they read about it, and they have knowledge about it, that's what they do. They share that with people, whether you want to listen to it or not. They have to. It's like this need in their mind, in your mind, that you have to share this with people, and people don't understand. It's like they don't want to hear it, they don't want to hear you talk about it. So therefore, this is where masking comes into play. If you don't know what masking is, it's basically hiding your autistic traits to make other people comfortable. So you fit in better with people. So by me not talking about autism, because in my head I know that people don't want to hear about it from me all the time, because I could go on and on and on like I'm doing right now, but and I know that's irritating to people. So basically, not talking about it is refraining or pulling myself back from that, is kind of like masking. It's not showing my true trait so that other people aren't annoyed or uncomfortable or whatever they may be feeling. But it's like this strong need in my brain. My brain needs it. Needs to be able to talk about it. And if you're the unfortunate person that is around me at the time when it has to come out, I'm sorry, but you're gonna get info dumped on. Learning how to have a filter. We overshare. Autistic people overshare a lot of times. And so do people with ADHD. So a lot of traits of ADHD are overlap with autism traits. So, but oversharing is one. And So, you might say things to people and they're just like, what? TMI. Don't tell me this stuff. But, that's also one thing I just thought about that autistic people do as well is, when they say that when somebody is telling you their experience or story or whatever, they say don't bring up something that happened to you that was similar or the same thing, because it's not about you should just listen. But this is how autistic people relate to other people. If you tell me a story or something that happened to you, and something like that happened to me, I will share that story with you. Not to say that my story's better than yours, or that it's that it's all about me. It's a way to relate to someone, to say, oh, hey, that happened to me too. Like, we can relate to each other. And so I do that a lot. I catch myself doing that a lot. And I try to, once again, rein it in and not say anything. Just let people talk. So, it's like, I have done this for years. This is just something I've done for years, that I know how to rein in my traits or camouflage them, because I can also, in some ways, while I may not be socially very perceptive sometimes about what people want, neurotypical people use a lot of reading between the lines, and I'm not good at reading between the lines. I need to be told straight. Just say what you're saying, because I'm not, more than likely, I'm not going to pick up on it if you're expecting me to read between the lines. This happens to me a lot at work. You get an email from your boss or from someone, and I'll read it. I'll be like, I don't even know what this means. Like, what are you trying to say? What do you want? Like, what? And a lot of times I have to send an email back and say, could you please rephrase this or ask this in a different way, because I don't know what you're trying to say. Which makes me feel like I'm dumb, or my brain doesn't catch on to things. It's just a different way of processing things, and yeah, doesn't mean that you're broken or anything. It's just, you just process different. For instance, somebody I went to high school with posted something about, asked the question, who likes roundabouts, right? The roundabouts in the roads. Well, I answered and I said, I don't know if this is meant to be a rhetorical question or not, but if it's not a rhetorical question, then I don't necessarily like roundabouts, right? Because my brain has a hard time processing, some of the roundabouts, you need to be in a certain lane to get off at a certain exit. Therefore, if you've never been to this roundabout, you have to look at the signs. And in addition to looking at the signs, you need to watch for the traffic, because the traffic's coming too. And And then, it's very, it's too much stuff going on, and it's hard for me to process this stuff. For me, like, I get, like, anxiety built up just thinking about it. But my ideal thing is a straight road with one off ramp going to a specific street. Like, that's easy for me. I get that, like, so I've had many horns honking at me before because I'm in the wrong lane of the roundabout, so I have to get over real quick, and sometimes I've even missed my little exit and I have to go around again. It's just, but I mean, I understand why they have them, but anyway, that's, for me, a lot of times, things don't make sense to me a lot. Just especially in, like, the workplace, and this is not just where I work, I just mean in general, corporations or places of employment. Like, sometimes they do things, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, this does not make sense to me. Why would you do it this way? Like, it seems like it would be a lot easier to just do it this way, but, like, and autistic people see patterns in things, and oftentimes can see things that are going to happen before they happen, not in a psychic sense, but in a pattern recognition sense. Like, this has happened before, I see this happening over and over, why don't we do this? As a prevention, like, let's be proactive, not reactive. And like, a lot of times people are not met with, like, people get mad about that, and I don't know, but it's just different things I'm thinking that autistic people go through. Not necessarily me. I don't always go through all those things, all the things that other autistic people go through. Everybody's different, but there are certain things that generally most autistic people go through. I read a lot about, these, there's autistic kids or adults, even nonverbal, or require a lot of care, aren't able to take care of themselves, will never be able to take care of themselves, most likely. And so I'll see debates all the time in comments about, well, almost like with kind of the attitude like, well, my you can't relate to my child's autism because they're so much worse than your autism, because mine's a level 3 and you're a level 1. So there's level 1, 2, and 3. And I have mixed feelings about that. Because in a way, that's like saying, well, because I'm a level 1, that I don't have struggles, or I don't need support, and a level 3 does, and that isn't true. Like, I do need support. A lot of times I don't even know what kind of support I need, but I know that I need it. Especially as I'm getting older, for some reason it gets worse as I get older. My ability to, and going through, having perimenopause on top of it, my ability to deal with things, sensory issues, are a lot worse for me. now than they used to be, as far as I can remember. My memory's not that great with a lot of things, but I'll remember random things, like, and people are like, oh, I can't believe you remember that, but I can't remember, like, what I did the day before, like yesterday. I can't remember details. Like important, like things that other people would remember, I don't. But then things that other people would forget, I remember. It's kind of opposite. And conversations, I don't remember a lot of conversations with people, but I remember the feeling of it, like if it was negative or positive. I have a hard time expressing feelings, though. Specific feelings. I can do happy, sad, angry, frustrated, but joy is a hard one for me. Being able to say, well, somebody asks you, well, what brings you joy? Well, I mean, how should I feel when I feel joy? I think the closest thing I can come to that is the feeling of seeing my grandchild, being around my grandchild. I would say that's the closest thing that I know of to be able to express joy. I don't, things that most people, especially girls, and this has been the way it is for me my whole life, I'm not emotional typically. I'm not emotional like growing up, like girls would be like, oh my gosh, like that's so awesome, and like I'm not normally like that. I can be like that. I have been like that, and I think it was to fit in. But I'm not normally like that. Normally, I'm very, like, people. I've been given gifts before, right, from someone, and because I didn't act a certain way, because I wasn't like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, like, because I wasn't like that, and I was more monotone, like, oh, thank you, this is nice. They felt like I didn't appreciate it, or I didn't want it, or I didn't like it, or whatever. And, it's not true. I just express things differently than other people. When someone is upset, let's say, and crying, a lot of times I don't know what I'm supposed to do or say. So I try to think about, I think about, what do I see on TV shows or movies, or what have I seen other people do that they seem to be successful with, so I'll do that. That is part of masking and trying to fit in. Because my reaction is to avoid dealing with someone's emotion. Like, if it's too emotional, I'm just like, okay, I'm out, bye, I am exiting this room. And it's not because I don't care. I think it's because it makes me feel a certain way. Like, I can empathize with that person, and like, how must that person feel in that situation, and because I can feel that deeply, it's like too much to deal with, and like, I have to remove myself from it. I think that's why I deal with, like, mostly deal with death and sickness. I deal with that in a very I deal with it in a way that doesn't involve emotions, really. I'll be like, oh, well, this person's really sick, and instead of being like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, that, because I know this is what the average person says, like, oh, that's too bad, I'm so sorry, that type of thing. Like, I know from watching that and seeing that that's what's expected socially, but then I'm like, so why are they sick? Like, what's the medical diagnosis? What's being done to help that? Or have you tried this? Have you done this? So my mind automatically, and my cousin told me this. She's like, anytime we talk about, something, your first thoughts, first things you talk about out of your mouth are, how she said, are, oh shoot, I can't remember now. This happens to me a lot too. I can't remember. The first things out of my mouth are like, have to do with medical stuff. It's always medical stuff right off the bat. Like autism. I'm talking about autism. It's a medical diagnosis. But it happens to also affect me. But still. Yeah, I will automatically revert to medical stuff. I think it's a way of, it's like a detachment from the emotional part about it. I'm thinking of it in a logical way. And I do that a lot with stuff. I think about things logically. Not everything. Some stuff I'm not logical about at all. But a lot of things I am logical about. Like, for instance, and the things that I say are not meant to, like, offend anybody. And I can be open-minded, but I'm also closed-minded about some stuff. Or, like, very rigid thinking. So, for instance, and like, I don't mean to offend anyone, it's just, these are just my thought processes. So, when people talk about, like, they go to a grave site, right? Someone meaningful to them has passed away, and there's a grave site, and they go to this grave site to talk to someone who's passed away and spend time there and things like that. So I know socially, from a social perspective, that this is something that people do to, I guess, to make them feel closer to that person. But in my logical head, this person is gone. They're not there. Like, yeah, their body's there, but they're not there. Okay, they're not there. So in my head, I can't understand that concept of going to a gravesite and, like, talking to this person because they're not there. And, or, like, I don't know, doing memorial things, some stuff, I guess. I don't know. In my head, this is, just for me, this is my thinking. When someone's gone, someone's gone. Like, that's my rigid thinking. They're gone. Like, I know that they have a spirit, and I know their spirit is somewhere else, but they are not physically present here where I can literally have a conversation with them or see them visibly. So their memory is here, and that's where it stays, like here, like, I don't know, I guess I don't feel the need to share it with anyone. I don't feel the need to do anything in their memory, like in their memory or anything like that, because they're here and like maybe in my heart. Like, I don't feel like I need to physically do something to honor them, to honor their memory, I guess. Yeah, because they're inside of me, like their memories are in me, and that's where they stay, and that's fine, and I don't say this because I, think it's other people are wrong for what they do. It just isn't. It isn't something I understand, and probably never will. But that's just my. Like, I don't get. I don't get attached, like, like when my grandpa passed, everybody wanted some of his ashes so they could, do whatever with it and put the ashes in a jewelry or whatever. But I did not feel the need to have my grandpa's ashes. I don't feel the need to have anyone's ashes. Yeah, it's just kind of, but yeah, anyway. So I just have different way of thinking about things, I guess. Another thing with autistic people is that we're very rules are important to us, yet we can break the rules. And that's kind of, it's okay, but nobody else can break the rules. That type of thing. Like, very hypocritical, seemingly hypocritical, but I read something about that, and it isn't hypocrisy, it is, it's a need to be able to control their environment so that it's a way of protecting themselves in the environment they're in, by when people around them follow the rules and do what they're supposed to. It's a form of protection. The autistic person feels that it's a protection, a safety thing for them, so they know what to expect. They know that people are going to follow the rules, so they know that nothing bad's going to happen to them. But when you start not following the rules, things are unexpected. You don't know what to expect, and that is scary for an autistic person. It's unpredictable. A lot of autistic people like predictability. They don't like surprises. Like, don't surprise me with something. And this happened in my current relationship. where, my significant other, there were decisions that were being made over a period of time, like maybe a couple weeks or something like that, that was going to alter and change the normal routine of some of the days of the week. And to most people, it would have been like, oh yeah, no big deal, what's a big deal? But for me, that accumulation of those things that I knew were going to be changing and was so disruptive to me that like it built up and built up and built up until I literally had that meltdown of what happened. I like when I posted before, saying I had to be alone and go to my room and just let that out. And so things that the average person can handle, or they can handle changes and stuff like that a lot better than an autistic person. Like, it literally disrupts an autistic person's life. And that's why it's difficult for me to leave the house to go do things, because it's a disruption in my routines of my daily life. So, and yet I can change my routines, but I'm the one that has to change it, my own routines. Someone else changing the atmosphere, the routines, anything like that, that's a different story. But I can do my own. I can change my own routines if I need to or want to. Because I know what I'm doing. Like, it's predictable. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to do it now. And because of the ADHD, that part of my brain wants change. So it's that battle against fighting, who's going to win. Most of the time, the autism overpowers the ADHD, but not always. So, so like on Saturdays, right? Saturdays are the day that's the day I do my chores. When I get up, I do my chores for the day. So when Saturday comes around and I get up and I can't do my chores because it's like, no, we have to go to the grocery store, which I hate going to the grocery store, by the way. Then I'm like, but I need to do my chores. I have to get my chores done today. Well, you have Sunday where you can do your chores. No, I do my chores on Saturday, and then I paint. And then on Sunday, I just chill out and paint or whatever. But on Saturday, I do my chores. And so the holidays are hard because, people want to know what you're doing for the holidays. Like, oh, come over and do this or that, or come to our house, or stuff like that. And that's hard because it's interrupting the holidays interrupt my whole week, my normal Monday through Friday, my routine, getting up, getting ready for work, going to work, coming home, letting the dogs out. It's the same thing every day. And that disrupts my routine. And a lot of times I won't go places or do things. So then I think people think I don't want to be around them, or I don't. And it is true, I don't like to socialize very much. I'm not a socializer. I don't like, chit chat is very hard for me. I'm used to, I can do it, but it's just I like to be alone. And I had a therapist trying to encourage me to go out and socialize and meet new people. And I'm like, are you kidding me? No, I don't want to meet any new people. I like being alone. Because she's like, I don't think you should get a work from home job. I think that's not going to be very good for you because then you're not socialized. I'm like, I don't want to socialize. That's the whole point. Like, I want to be at home. But she could have been right. I don't know. But so I kind of feel like I'm rambling. It's been 35 minutes. I'm supposed to be going to sleep, and now I'm talking too much about autism, and it's going to be hard for me to, calm my mind down and go to sleep. So, but my medicine's kicking in, though, I think, and I'm starting to get a little bit drowsy. I always wonder, like, when I'm doing videos, people always look so bright and cheery in their videos, and their makeup's all perfect. I'm like, how long does it take to get that way? Here I am, like, my hair's not combed, I'm in bed, I'm, just got a tank top on, no makeup. Well, actually, I had mascara on, and now it's, like, under my eyes. Like, anytime I think about, I need to, like, actually look good in some of my videos, so I need to do something about that, and I'm just like, no, I just don't have the energy to do it. Like, I don't know. And then I'm like, it's not the real me. This is the real me. Like, this is me most of the time. Like, I don't even wear makeup to work except for mascara. That's it. So why change just because I'm on a video? I don't know. But so I've been talking for 37 minutes. I think that's sufficient. And yes, I basically info dumped on all of you. Whoever's watching this video, I info dumped on you. But think about all the other videos out there that people make that are nonsense, and they're funny, a lot of them, but, like, they make no sense at all. I'm like, what, you wasted your time doing that? But that's what it's entertaining, I guess. So if they can do that, then I'm sure my video will be fine. I'll try to make another video at some point and learn how to cut and trim videos and put them together, and I don't know. It's a lot of work. And I have a painting I need to do, and so I need to be working on that. And, yeah. Anyway, you guys take care, and have a good rest of your week and weekend, and I'll try to do another video here soon. All right.